Hey everyone, we are 6 weeks into growing in this Kratky hydroponic system, and as you can see there's been growth, not a huge amount. I did not replant seeds 2 weeks ago. I said I might, but I thought I'd give it a little time and see what happens. And one thing that did happen is this little Swiss chard popped up, but other than that, nobody else. Now I have been harvesting leaves out of here, so there's been more growth than what you actually see here. Here's some of the other systems. Now this one's done really well. I've taken a lot of leaves off this endive here. You see it's a pretty solid plant. When I pull it up, it's pulling the whole net cup up. So that one's doing really good. And I don't know if it's the smaller net cups, smaller container. Boy, that's on there. Look at that root system. That looks really good. And over here we've got some new endive coming up. And then with the 5-gallon buckets, the peppers are doing good. Not exceptional, but we are in the cooler months and it has been cool the last few days. Now, one thing I have done is adjusted the amount of nutrient in here. I'm going to go ahead and run through how I did that. And at that point, probably not going to do any more 2-week updates on this. Maybe I'll come back after a month, just see how they're doing. So here I've got a bucket with a gallon of water in it. And what I want to do, I'm going to figure out what the TDS, total dissolved solids, should be at with the proper nutrient level. So the first thing I'm going to do is just measure, see where my water's at without the nutrient. So we just stick this in here and give it a minute to stabilize. Okay, it looks like we're at 955. Okay, I'm going to add nutrient to this. And I'm gonna add the proper amount to where it's like the system was new, like when you first do it. I think it might have been a 1/4 teaspoon, something like that. But anyways, I'll go ahead and do that and we will take another measurement. Okay, I added the nutrient, and if you can read that, in this case it's non-recirculating system. So it was 1 teaspoon per gallon. So I went ahead and did that. And again, we're just trying to get a baseline here on where it should be. So I've got the meter. And we're at 1638. So this brought it up just a little above 700. I guess that's parts per million. So I'm going to go measure the systems. I'm actually going to use this water. I'll dump this in because they're probably getting a little low on the water. If not, I'll just be adding nutrient, and I'll try to bring them up right around that same level, around the 1600 level. Now, when I add this, all I'm doing is using a piece of CPVC for stirring, just a clean piece. So that shouldn't cause any problems. So let's go check out the systems, see where they're at now, and then I'll try to balance them up. Okay, here's the first system. And all I did was pull the net cup out. There's nothing growing in that one, so no big deal. See, the water's down a little bit there. So this is interesting. We're actually below what my tap water was at, probably because there's a lot of rainwater in here. So we're at 783. So I'm going to try to bring this up to around 1500, maybe 1400. Remember, the nutrient added around 700, so I think 14 would be a good bet. But we must be really low on nutrient here. So this is, I guess, about a 5-gallon, 6-gallon. So I'm going to start with 4 tablespoons and see where that brings me. Okay, I think I said before I'm going to add 4 tablespoons. It was actually teaspoons. But I did add all that water that I had mixed up. That whole gallon went in there and it didn't hit the overflow. So I added that water and 4 teaspoons. Look at that, 1346. I said I want to get around 1400. So that's perfect. I could put a tiny bit more, but I'm not going to bother. I'll just check it again in a week or so. So let's try the system next to it. Now this is much smaller. Probably only about 2.5 gallons, and actually the water level hasn't dropped. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. So I reset the meter. So we're at 600, so again, looks like these are all about the same. So I'm gonna add 2 teaspoons in this one, and I'm gonna continue down the line, bring them all up to around 1400. And with that, these will just keep going. And again, I'll come back in probably a month or so, but let me show you what I'm doing here, why I'm gonna hold off doing a 2-week update. What I have here is 2 new bins. Now these are the small ones. I like the results from the small ones. They're easy to move, easy to set up. I'm gonna go with 2-inch net pots on these. But one of the reasons I did not put seeds in, and I haven't set these up yet, is I've got this new seed starting rack. And what I'm doing is I've got the rock wool in here. So I'm gonna start the seedlings indoors, and I've got a heat pad under here. I got these lights going. So I think it'd be better to get the seedlings started, and of course I made too many. That way I can pick the strongest ones, then drop them into the hydroponic, well, into the net cups. And that way I don't have basically empty real estate not doing anything for me. So that's the plan. As this progresses, like I said, probably do an update in maybe a month on that system. But one thing I am gonna do, and you'll probably see it next week, is I'm gonna do a video of the build for this seed starting rack. Actually only cost me about $115, including lights. There's a few materials that I already had, but the bulk of it is covered under that $115. So look for that about in the next week or so. And I'll just, like I said, I'll update the Kratky system once there's some significant change. So thanks for watching.